So there are 4 words today that I got, and one yeah, 4 sort of like words: decide, judgment day, manifestation, and diet. Because I was supposed to do this, or at least I thought I was going to do this. Okay, so these messages, these messages today, the word decide. So there's either a decision you need to make, or you are learning about the process of decision making. And the thing is, we're always learning about the process of decision making, and we're always going to make a decision. So this is to everyone. And then please, because this is a collective, tune in. If you want a specific reading, then you can message me. But this is just on a collective base. So it's very general. Take what resonates and just don't try and make it fit. So to decide means to cut off, to make a decision. And when you cut something off, that means you are clear. So there is more clarity in your life, right? And then I remember years ago hearing about the word decide, and I couldn't find it now, but I was looking for the part where it says you edge God out. So what does it mean when you are edging God out? Because we have as source energy God, the universe, your higher power, and we have different sources of that expression, right? So there are many gods. That's why it says, do not make idols, or do not worship idols. These things outside of the purest form of who God is, the love, if that makes sense. So when you're edging God out, there is a God of everything, right? So when you are edging God out, you're edging that which you're making a God. So when you are stuck in doubt and fear, that has become your God, right? Because you follow that more than you do God of love and the deepest form of light, right? So then when you're edging God out, you go into that sort of like space. I'm just trying to recollect what I was trying to say there. Yes. So you're edging the God that you have idolized and have allowed to take preference over your life. So that's why the God of fear. If you live in fear, you're worshiping a God of fear. Okay. So then that becomes your deciding factor in your life. And then what I got with that is a judgment needs to be made, because if you're from the purest source and you're not from the different expressions of it, you honor the source as the foundation. Then as you edge those gods out of fear, anything to do with fear or the lowest form of vibration, then you come to the purest source, right? That is mostly in silence. That also gives you space, right? To allow information that you are receiving. So what I am going to do is just for now, is wherever you are, just take a deep breath, because there's a lot of information that's going to roll through this one. So if you want to, you can just place one hand near your heart where you just feel the heartbeat and just connect to this message. Okay. A lot of times I felt myself even like running there with the message because of like so much excitement to share it. But a lot of times we preempt things and we don't give it space. So it's just time to give the information that we are receiving a little bit of space, just by connecting together and taking a deep breath. And most importantly, is allowing yourself to just drop into heart medicine, the heart space, the seat of your soul. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Here, right now, we're trying to tap into the foundation, greater source energy. I'm grateful for that because that just gave us space to ground a little bit more. Because of the excitement that I had to share, I was like, but we can ground now. Okay, more grounded. Thank you. So when you're deciding, you need to make a judgment. And what I got is Judgment Day. A lot of what we are also taught in religion is that there's going to be one final day of, there's going to be like one final day of judgment. But the thing is, there's also a part in the Bible where it says something about like time, and time being like 7 days and 7 years and 7,000 something something. You can rectify me there. But this is part of it, is that everything is all happening at once. So even from, I don't know why this is going there, but let's go with it. Even from the from the Old Testament to the New Testament, all of that is happening all at once. Okay. So there are many timelines that you can refer to with time, because even if I have to say now, think about your gran and a really good time that you had together. You have time traveled to that space time reality, but you are here in this current reality. Do you know what I mean? So even if you are acquiring knowledge, it's like, what knowledge and from what sources are you outsourcing this information? Because every part of information is going to be embodied, and that's part of the diet I'm going to come to. So, Judgment Day is, you are constantly, with every single thought, every single interaction, every single thing that your mind is telling you, your body is feeling, and it's absorbing and it's embodying that information as is. Right? There's a section where we go, the universe doesn't talk English or isiZulu or any other language besides vibration. So you could be going, like, you can hear when someone's not authentic in their voice, when you're greeting them and they're like, ah, higher voice. If you can see from grounded, it's elevated from truth. So there's like a, you already know that sense of inauthenticity that's going to resonate or vibrate from one another, right? That side note. But a judgment day is happening now. And like, what are you receiving from this information now? And what decision are you making now? Is your fear, is the God of fear overriding the God of love and joy and peace? Because this message comes from a peaceful space. So are you not feeling the peace? What is feeling uneasy about this? Because this is revealing truth. When Judgment Day comes, this moment, this judgment now, you're deciding, do I follow the God of light and my higher source, or am I following the God of fear? And if I'm following that God of fear, where is this leading me to? Right? Because you block your intuition through your diet. How you block your intuition through your diet is what you're consuming. Who are you consuming? So, what are you consuming? What are you ingesting with the food? It says also in this section in the Bible, it says, I think if I remember clearly, Jesus was in a dinner with apparently like unclean, people, and his disciples are like, why are you going into that space? And there was a section where he was like, you got to pray, because your prayer sends a vibration of cleansing of any impurities that you don't know existed, and they might not even know existing in the cooking of the food, in the preparation of the meal, in the preparation of the gathering of now. You know what I mean? So prayer is very important. And prayer is what comes out of your mouth, what is vibrating in purity, because whatever you pray for, you manifest. Because remember, the universe speaks in vibration, it doesn't speak vernac or English or Afrikaans or Spanish. Okay, it doesn't speak those languages. That's what we have designed here on earth, to be able to communicate in different ways, and not for everybody to resonate the same way. We need to. So language is also important, because um, language is like art, different forms of art that you are tapping into. And every single form of art, whether it's technological or it's based earthly, there's always a form of language and understanding that is gained, right? So your diet, what you ingest with food, always make sure that you're praying over it. Have an intention of enjoying what has come from source, what has been a desire for someone to be able to reproduce this thing that has now come as a certain meal, packaged in a certain meal for you. What are you ingesting with your eyes? Like, what are you watching? Because we are constantly being suggested to. And if we are constantly being suggested to, we are, let's just say, like, um someone I saw a chicken licking. Someone was doing, like, she had a um doing a post with her hair, and she had like chicken licking, and I was like, oh man, I haven't had that in a while. That's influence, right? I almost wanted to go get it, and then I was like, no, I needed something else. So we are constantly being suggested to by what we see. So this is also a form of conditioning. What we listen to, who are we listening to? Who is vibrating life into our lives? How are we vibrating life and giving life to our own lives, right? So there's that too. It goes hand in hand. So that's diet. And if we are blocking intuition, and we are blocking the source, the purest source of why this thing has come about. Because depending on your association through your life experiences and through your conditioning through fear, your interpretation has created a completely different story. You've heard when you you can see the same thing, even an art piece. You can see an art piece, but someone will see something completely different to what you do, because vibrationally there's a certain system and pattern running within them that is blocking source energy and the purest form of the information to be like put out there. So what you put out with your words, what you put out with your thoughts, what you put out with your heart is constantly vibrating, and the body is listening. The body is always listening to the truth, and the body is always telling the truth. That's the wisdom of the body, and the importance of why when you're doing any healing work, this also needs to be tended to. Not only just what you are hearing and vibrating through your mouth, but this needs to be tended to too, and nurtured and released of energy that, once again, you don't even know is stored, right? Because as I'm talking, you might be feeling tension perhaps in your back, excuse me, tension in the back body. And maybe some of you right now there's a sense of relief to hear this message, and to allow yourself to open and trust your inner being and your inner child, most importantly, and the truth. You know what the truth is. You know from what I'm saying what the truth is for you, because I can say so much and you can interpret it in completely different ways that I don't even know how you're going to interpret this message. I just knew that I needed to come and share. And then within the decisions that you're making, within the judgment day that is present, within the diet that you are consuming, that is constantly making suggestions. Because if you had to smell someone braising like garlic and onion and herbs, it's going to remind you of something. It's going to tap you into a certain feeling, and it's going to cause a desire, right? Because sometimes you don't know what you want, but you also know what you don't want. So that's information. That's very important information for you. And that is very vital information for you. And I want to share a story with a friend of mine. We were walking on the promenade once, and he was like, you know what? If the fact that you are hungry, it means that there is food available for you to eat. Now, hear me out. The fact that you're hungry, it means that there is food available for you to eat. When you are hungry, it's not about, there's a process of it, right? It's either you get a clear decision or you get a suggested decision, and then you go into convenience of that decision as well. So there's clear decision, there's suggested, and what did I say there? Now I can't stop and reverse this one. Okay, so clear, suggested, and convenient, right? Because that's a process of going, you know that you're hungry, but you're like, what do I actually want? And then perhaps your friend or your partner is like, let's have like Thai tonight, you know, that sort of thing. And then you go deeper and deeper and deeper. So you're constantly making decisions, but you're getting closer to it, right? And that's life. In everything that we do, manifestations are happening like this, right? And it goes back to the judgment. Are you going into the fear? Are you honoring the God of fear, or you honoring the God of peace and joy, right? And please hold on. Are you honoring the God of fear, love? Yes, and then I wanted to just bring it to manifestations. Manifestation doesn't always have to be a physical like thing in your hand. No, there's a time in the, it's so interesting that I'm referencing the Bible so much today. But um we have that part where Jesus rose, that story, and then the part where, I don't know, one of his disciples was like, he's risen, he's alive. And then there was a doubting Thomas who needs physical evidence. So there comes a time when you don't need the physical evidence of what you already feel and know. But up until that, that's what we've come as spirit and physical experience to be able to have that physical experience too. And a lot of the time, what you'll find is when you're going into manifestation, a lot of manifestation is simply about removing your limitations. And when you're removing your limitations, you are removing the God of fear out of the way, so that the God of love, of joy, and of peace resides you know, it's part of the fruits of the spirit too. So it's like, if that can be the highest form of what takes over in your life, it's your decision to make. So judgment day is here now. It's happening right now. You've made certain judgments already by what I've said. And it's important to make judgments, right? Because you need to know the truth. You need to know the truth in order for you to be able to move forward. So every decision you make, am I honoring the God of the low vibration, or am I honoring the God of the highest form? And the manifestation will come into your experience. So be more attentive to energy. Be more perceptive to that. And the last message I also wanted to talk about is, if you're spiritual, in the spiritual space, and there's almost like this tug of war between your corporate world and your personal life and what you find as true, and perhaps you're going deeper into your spiritual journey, there the time now is the honoring of the spiritual realm, nature, and God, way more than we have in this past, like, life experience that we've had. So it's almost like those who are becoming clearer channels are going to be able to tap in way deeper, because this is what happens, right? It goes back to the diet. Once you tap into the higher realm of love and spirit and soul, and you part of the world but not, or you of the world, no, you part of the world and not of the world, then you become a clearer channel. You're connected deeper to heart medicine, which is ultimately where we want to reside. So as above, so below, as within, so without. This energy here, this vibrational energy, decides for us a lot of what is coming into physical manifestation. So if you can be clearer here, we are coming into the time when, our spiritual brothers and sisters who honor the divine and respect the divine, not out of fear, but out of love. Because the word fear comes from the word respect, but not being afraid of. So there's a really big difference, right? So we're coming into that space where this that comes out and that oscillates in between is going to become of vital importance. Many more are going to start vibrating into that space where more of God can be, like, more of heaven and earth can reside. So if you want a personal reading, please do message and let me know in the comments how this has resonated, where it resonates for you. And I hope with whatever decision you need to make after this, maybe for some of you, you are going to make a decision that you need to make to move forward. Because when you don't make a decision from peace and joy, you stagnate yourself. So no one is stagnating you besides you. It's all you. I don't know, I'm getting this, like, no one's lawyer. Yeah, no one's lawyering you. It's all you. In relation to them, if that makes sense. Can't really unpack that anymore for now because I've spoken way longer than I thought I would. But if I can just leave you with a message to stay the path, to allow yourself to deal with discomfort and become friends with yourself. Become your best friend. No one can be your bestest friend if you aren't your bestest friend, right? Yeah, that's what I gotta say for now.